The Russian sleep experiment. The truth behind the legend. Hello everyone. Today at Twilight Terror, we're going to talk about this legend that has been circulating on the internet for a long time. Are you ready? Let's go. In the 1940s, deep within the shadows of the Soviet Union, a secret experiment was conducted. An experiment so disturbing that its very existence remains a mystery. Officially, no records exist, no documents, no verifiable sources. But the story persists, whispered in the darkest corners of the internet. 5 political prisoners were chosen as test subjects. Their crime, opposition to the Soviet regime. Their punishment, a fate far worse than death. They were locked inside a sealed chamber, isolated from the outside world. Scientists pumped in an experimental gas designed to keep them awake for 30 days. No sleep, no rest, just endless wakefulness. For the first few days, everything seemed normal. The subjects talked amongst themselves, their voices filled with nervous energy. But by the 5th day, paranoia set in. They stopped talking. Their behavior became erratic. Whispers filled the chamber, conversations held in hushed tones, with something unseen. Then, the screaming began. Blood-curdling screams echoed through the chamber. Some subjects clawed at the walls, their fingers reduced to raw flesh. Others sat motionless, eyes vacant, as if listening to voices only they could hear. Then, suddenly, silence. For days, nothing. No speech, no movement, just the eerie hum of the monitoring equipment. Concerned, the researchers made a decision. After 15 days, they would open the chamber. What they found defied logic. It defied humanity itself. The room was a nightmare. Blood smeared the walls, flesh torn from their own bodies. One subject lay dead, his abdomen ripped open, his organs scattered like a grotesque offering. The remaining subjects were still alive, but barely human. Skin peeled away, eyes wild with insanity, lips curled into eerie, grotesque smiles. They muttered incoherently, voices dry, whispering words that sent chills down the researchers' spines. And then, one of them smiled wider, turned his hollow gaze to the scientists, and spoke. Panic erupted. The researchers fled. The military was called in. The chamber was sealed. The experiment was buried in secrecy. But the question remains, was it real? Or just another internet myth? Some say it was fabricated. A modern creepypasta, a story designed to terrify and entertain. But others aren't so sure. If the experiment never happened, why does the idea alone send shivers down our spines? Why does the fear of sleep deprivation, of losing our grip on reality, feel so disturbingly possible? What happens when the mind is pushed beyond its limits? What if sleep is the only thing standing between us and the monsters we could become? Perhaps the scariest part isn't the experiment itself. It's that somewhere, in a hidden laboratory, in the depths of some government facility, the experiment may not have ended after all. Then came the phrases, repeated endlessly. The dreamer must never wake. The dreamer must never wake. One by one, they joined in, their voices overlapping into an unnatural, hypnotic chant. The scientists panicked. The experiment had to end. The gas was shut off. For a moment, there was peace. And then, the screaming began. Not of pain, but of desperation. Agonized, animalistic begging, pleading for the gas to be turned back on. Their bodies trembled, their hands clawed at their own skin, as if trying to peel something away. One collapsed, convulsing, whispering in a voice that was no longer his own, "We are awake." And the last remaining scientist, unable to bear the horror, fled the facility, locking the doors behind him. But even now, deep within the archives of forgotten Soviet history, the files remain redacted, hidden, yet whispering a warning. The dreamer must never wake. Guys, this was the Russian sleep experiment. I'm Nick. This is Twilight Terror. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on what content you want to see here. See you next time.